The Omnic Weekly. Welcome everyone, it's Sunday, November 26th, and this is episode 160. That is an impressive number of the Omnic Weekly. And this week I am joined by none other than Frozen.
Hi.
But still with the microphone. By the way, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Your microphone, your hair, and your mouse are kind of all moving in the same color pattern.
Which is weird because these two do their own thing. I can't put anything on there, but
I love how you exclude your hair. Like, yeah, my hair, that is...
no, this is planned. This is like all me.
Yeah,
but these two is not me. These two just have their own mind.
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of going, hey, we can feel the presence of some candy-colored hair. We're just going to adopt those same types of colors. How you doing, Frozen?
Tired. I could
feeling.
go for a nap right now, but...
Don't. I mean, it's not very courteous and polite to fall asleep in midst of recording a podcast. Not so much towards me, who cares, but I think towards our audience.
Yeah.
It's kind of like... I mean,
no, I would never.
Yeah. Same here. Wait. What? Anyways. Yeah, I think we all kind of are feeling that fall. I don't know. It kind of depends where you live, I guess. If you're living somewhere in the south of Europe, or you're living somewhere near Florida, California, whatever, you don't understand this. You never lived through this, but that moment the leaf starts falling and you get yourself over those colors. You're kind of like done with the colors, because the colors are now on the floor and they're getting wet and they're becoming this huge mess because winter's coming.
Well, first it's freezing and we're gonna get snow this week. So
yeah, same here.
Next week.
Here. Yeah, well, I hope it really, really snows, because I would love to see some snow. Like the good old snow, not one of those, there's white stuff coming out of the sky, but by the time it hits the floor, it's just good old rain again. Bastards.
First, there's a good chance. And next week, the Christmas markets are gonna open up. So that would be nice.
Yeah.
Have some snow.
I wonder if they're doing Christmas stuff in my hometown. I think they are. And that might make a nice video for the Damesies channel. I still have to edit the Disney video. Jesus Christ. That's going to be... I'm going to do one video about Disneyland where I'm kind of in a t-shirt and sunny and whatnot. The next one is going to be here in Belgium during the Christmas market. That's going to be a huge jump. It's going to be like I travel in time, which I have still not mastered. I try every single day, but, we'll get there in the end. But anyways... Hannah could not make it. LP is still missing in action. He occasionally pops up in our group chat, and he did promise he's going to be here for the next episode, because that is going to be a bit of an esports themed episode. So he promised to be here. We'll see if he makes it. But
I hope he's gonna be here. He knows the most about esports.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see. I'll talk more about that. Well, not much to talk about. We're going to have two guests on top of LP, and we see who else can join it. We need to kind of look into that, because we can cram in as many people as we want in here, but at some point for everyone it's going to get confusing. So that's next week is going to be a week where LP and Hannah come back, and then we're going to be kind of rolling the dice and like who can join in on because this, I mean, with the two extra guests in there, 6 people is too much. Maybe it's not. We'll find out.
We'll see.
It could be a good test. In any case, today we're not going to be talking about esports. Today we're going to be talking about Season 8 of Overwatch 2. That is just a week away. Well, a week and a few days. I'm being very generous. I'm not going to be too strict with the calendar, because who cares? But next week... So next Tuesday, not the Tuesday that is coming right now. So listen up, guys, and look at me if you're watching on YouTube. Not this Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, Season 8 of Overwatch is going to start. And I'm going to do my best here. We're going to get a new hero called Monga. I've made a video where I pronounced it Moga, and I got so many questions or comments about my pronunciation. Monga. That's the way you...
I'm not even gonna try.
Monga. Yeah, like the O is like pronounced like ng, so it's Monga. Anyways, I hope that was correct. If you are Samoan and you're listening to this podcast, let me know if I did correctly. If I did it correctly, rather. I actually have a video about Season 8 coming out later today, and I did not pronounce it correctly because it was recorded before. People kind of pointed out to me that, no, that's not the way you say it. Like, all right, sorry. I mean, my name is always mispronounced wherever I go, but sure. Let me try and do this. No.
Me too. Mine is also always pretty
Yeah,
mispronounced. So.
I think that is why we like. I sometimes get like some people come into the chat and I get their name right, and that is because I have a mind that doesn't necessarily kind of how do you say that, interpret names as they are written. I'm not have that typical, but that doesn't mean that I get it right. I mean, I just get it wrong as much as anybody else. But then people will be like, "Hey, you got my name right. You're the first to pronounce it correctly." Like, all right, you got lucky there. You got lucky. But anyways, manga is coming next Tuesday. The new tank hero that is going to be substantially buffed. I mean,
crazy.
I don't remember. Did you play him yourself? Because I saw you in a group with Yaros. Yaros recorded some footage.
We have.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, we helped him out to get some footage after I already played him a bit. Yeah. So I played with Spicy and Gazer, and like we were in a whole group. We had a spot left, and we just played for a while. Everyone tried Maga because it's easier to get it in a group.
Oh yeah.
And like queues were so much easier in the group. And at some point, Yaros was complaining to me like, "Hey, I'm not getting any footage. The queues are so long." And I just said, "Hey, come in. We can help you." Like because group queues were so much faster.
Well, in an instance like that where everybody wants to try the new hero, and you can get along and kind of rotate, that is going to help out tremendously. But I saw the footage. You need to check out the video. It was in the previous video I did about where I tell everybody that they're wrong about balancing, which also got some nice reactions. Thanks for that. Some people were pissed at me, man.
I saw some comments.
Someone even accused me of gaslighting, like, oh, hold your horses. Watch the full freaking video. Not everything is in the title. The title is like, you're wrong about the balancing in Overwatch 2, and that is what the video is about. But I also mentioned in that video that they're not doing everything perfectly and that there are still issues. Just the thing is, like, we always approach the balancing for Overwatch from our own standpoint. And the funny thing is, look, I need to kind of... The funny thing is that so many people, a good set of people, were kind of upset about what I said. But by doing so, by the way they phrased it and by the comments that they left, they actually proved my point. Because I had like two comments under each other going, one was like, Junkrat is underpowered, and the next comment was saying, Junkrat is overpowered. Like, it just kind of proved my point. It just was a beautiful. Confirmation of everything that I had been saying. People got some of their stress relief by yelling at me, so that's good.
I read some of that, and it was kind of fun, honestly. Because after watching the video, I skimmed through the comments. I was like, well, proving your point, actually knows what they're talking about, proving your point.
Exactly. I mean, it is just a fact. It's human psychology. We tend to approach things from our own standpoint. We are the center of our own universe. And that doesn't mean that you think you are so important. It's not like I'm calling anybody like egocentrical, but it's just kind of, there's no way that you as a human can take in all the other standpoints, just general in life, but also while you're playing the game, it is very hard to understand how all these different play styles that you have no clue about, all these different people that play these heroes in so many different ways. And whatever some content creators might tell you, no, I mean, it's a struggle. Even for the team, look at how scared they are when they do these updates, or scared, how worried, or how on top of things they are, and how quickly they are to change things, because they don't know either. They're the most informed. They have the data. They have the insights. They are the professionals.
Just so interesting to see that, like you said in the video, like sometimes it's not the hero that's the issue. Sometimes it's all the heroes around that one hero that enabled that hero, and people still thinking, no, it's definitely that one hero.
Yeah, exactly.
Nerf the hero to the ground. No. You don't know better than someone who's spending their life for 2 or 3 years about balancing that game.
Exactly.
You don't know better.
That came straight from Alec Dawson. I thought, like, I asked him that question at BlizzCon during the group interview, and I asked him, that was his answer. Was like, yeah, sometimes I know that perception can be. The example I gave him, or the kind of challenge I gave him, was about Orisa, because everybody felt like Orisa is so overpowered. While in the statistics, we know that Orisa is not doing that good, and then it's actually Reinhardt and Sigma that are on top of everything when it comes to the tanks. And he said, yeah, we understand that perception, it's super important, but that usually means that something is happening with all the other heroes that are kind of connected to them. But people are, like I said, they're kind of, the one comment was just like, all right, Jesus. I also kind of replied to that one going, seriously, gaslighting? What are you? You little, wagging my fist at you. But anyways, in that video, that was actually what I started out about. I saw you playing with Yaros, and he was playing Maga. And at some point he dies and his corpse is lying there. And then I see your corpse falling in the picture, like in the camera, like in the shot as a mercy. And then the Brigitte who was playing with you, who was, I think, a random stranger, kind of also falling in. It was kind of just a beautifully kind of synchronized death. That was it. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, but anyways, I tried to get some good footage and by like enabling him a bit with mercy.
Oh yeah, he definitely
like getting some of that damage up.
Yaros is just an exceptional player. He like the speed at which he kind of understands a hero and manages to kind of get the kit to work is incredible. Like he pulled off some really nice charges in that whole footage.
Crazy.
I didn't use all of it, but definitely is worth a look. But Yaros is one of the people that helps me with editing the videos. But anyways, he's going to be Monga. Jesus Christ, I still feel like I'm mispronouncing it, but is joining the roster next Tuesday. And that's, to be honest, the only thing we know for certain. Well, no, we know a few other things for certain. For instance, that this new Hero Master is going to be added for D.Va, Mei, Lucio, Genji. I don't remember the last one exactly.
I'd have to check too.
Yeah, there's 5 of them that are getting at it. I think there's one that I'm missing. But I see Frozen is scrolling through her screen, looking at the posts that they made. But we're also getting the tower defense mode, which is a 3. Well, it's not. Let me say it the other way around. We're getting a co-op mastery where 3 players will be defending towers. So it is tower defense in a way. And every season, the rotation of heroes that you'll be using in that mastery will change. So that is going to be interesting. That is going to be added too. And we know there's a new Winter Wonderland event coming.
Yes.
There's no details just yet. So we need to wait and see.
I'm always happy about Winter Wonderland. It's always so beautiful. I love the maps. The maps are gorgeous.
That's one of my favorite parts of that whole event is just having all those beautiful and gorgeous maps that, like I said, I am not a fan of the season winter, because here in Belgium that is just rain, cold, depressing. But when it comes to snow and that whole kind of, I just love snow for some reason. It's the only part of all of winter I kind of like, because it slows everything down. It's beautiful. It's just everything kind of becomes this slow motion whirlwind. No, slow motion. I don't know.
The day they introduced winter at King's Row was just so beautiful. Some maps are just designed for snow.
Yeah, they are. I hope they had a new one, by the way. Like, what map would you like to see in a winter?
It's difficult because on some maps that I really like, I don't think the climate would allow for snow.
Don't say Ilios or Samoa or something.
Like, I don't think the climate would allow it. Like, Havana would be cool, but I don't think there would be snow there.
It does snow in the colder parts of the warmer parts of the world. Like my friends in Crete, like get snow every 5 to 6 years. It will be snowing, not at the coast, but like in the. I'm not even going to say in the mountains somewhere, like places where you would not expect it. It definitely can snow, where it can be like 40 degrees in summer. So, but like the one map I would like to see that I think, and would also save me a lot of money, is Midtown.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Like a Christmassy Midtown.
Yeah. Very Christmassy, like with Christmas trees and even like
Christmas
the noise
lights up everywhere.
Of shoppers. And yeah, exactly. That would be kind of cool. And then I wouldn't have to spend all the money to go to New York.
the grand central station, like all in Christmas lights and with decorations.
With a
It would
huge
be
tree in the
amazing.
middle. It would be
Perfect.
beautiful. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's one map I definitely hope they do one day. We'll see if they're going to do it. I mean,
Breakable presents. Blizzard, hear me out. Breakable presents, please.
I mean, if they're not breakable, what are they doing there? I mean, that's not a present if we can't break it. But they did say, like, when they kind of made this whole roadmap thing, that we would be getting a new Winter Wonderland or a new Christmas event this year. But, new can be interpreted in different ways. Like, yeah, we're going to do another one of these events. It could be that they're just kind of copying last year's event. I don't think they're going to do just a copy. I think they're going to add something. I think Winter Wonderland is the event with the most brawls. Like, you have Yada Hunt, you have Maze Snowball Offensive, you have the competitive version of that, and you have Freestyle Elimination. So those are a lot of modes, yeah. And but I hope they add another one. And I actually would like to see something more PvE themed. That would kind of be cool, like something like they did with Halloween.
That would be cool. I don't know if they would do something like that so close to Halloween, like do something like that again. But I mean, we know they can be quite creative with the K-pop event they had, the Capture the Flag, that was quite different somehow than the normal Capture the Flag. So I think they will have something up their sleeves.
Yeah, I don't. For me personally, like I enjoy PvP in Overwatch, but I always feel like all of these brawls, the moment they become this kind of version of that match, or in this case, it was a Capture the Flag, and when it comes to the Resurfam event, I do have to say, like, the changes they did were kind of interesting because you had to pick up the tickets, you had to bring the tickets in. It wasn't as much a Capture the Flag. There was only the one moment, and it was the light stick that you had to bring in. That was kind of like the closest thing to a flag. It was creative, but still, I think for these types of events like Halloween, Christmas, that are a little bigger, that are a little more festive, I think a PvE. I mean, there's so much fun stuff they can do. They have like a freaking Torbjorn Santa in the game. Do something like there is a sled. We've seen the sled in King's Row. There's some gameplay you can do around that. That could be a lot of fun. Like, instead of zomboids, it's like, I don't know, cookie stealing monsters, whatever. Kind of like that whole
or maybe Torbjorn's workshop, make it into like a Santa workshop.
Exactly. They could do a lot of fun stuff, like in Gutenberg. So I'm hoping that we'll see something in that direction. That would be very, very, very cool. But
having some elves to help him out, like Tracer and Junkrat.
Exactly. And then some Omnics that are trying to steal his stuff. I mean, we need to be careful that it's not always Omnics that are trying to steal stuff, but I think those are kind of easiest to animate as enemies. Although they do the same thing with the Talon heroes, so who knows?
I mean, maybe they function a hero like first away, like they did in the Halloween mode. Like, you have to fight against not a Orisa, but maybe, I don't know, a Reaper who's the Grinch or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they can do a lot of fun stuff with that, and I really hope, especially since they haven't been talking a lot about PvE for next year, and that is one of the things that we missed at BlizzCon. It would kind of be nice if they gave us like a taste of something else PvE just for Christmas and to bridge us over to whatever they have planned for next year. But we'll see. That is a certain. That is, we're going to get a Winter Wonderland event now. It could either start the 12th of December, which is one weekend, or they could wait till the 19th, which is 2 weeks in. I think the chances of it being on the 12th are substantially higher than the 19th, especially because they tend to do, like, Halloween lasts for 3 weeks. I think this one, if they do a PvE mode, it's definitely going to last for 3 weeks. If they're just going to kind of do a small, like a brawl again, like another variation of throwing snowballs at someone or freezing someone, then it might just be restricted to 2 weeks. But other than that, I think we're also going to get a Maga launch event. I think that kind of makes sense that is going to happen. And now they can do several events at the same time. So
one thing I find very interesting about, like, the brawls that are still there from the first game is that with the hero reworks that are now in order, like some heroes getting reworked and everything, for some heroes, we still get a taste of their old abilities in those brawls, since some are like based or built around that. For example, with Mei and her freezing or like freezing people.
Yeah.
You still get a taste for that in the Yeti Hunt brawls and everything, which is, I just recently realized how sometimes even when people still like the old Mei, they can still play her, but in the Winter Wonderland modes.
Yeah. Well, don't tell him that. Don't give him that as feedback or reply because they'll not appreciate that. Well, you can still play it in Christmas. Oh, they get angry. And we just kind of throw a nice cone at your face. But anyways.
It's okay, I'm frozen.
There we go. But I think after New Year's, after the Christmas event is over, there's still going to be room for another few events. One, I think, is going to be tied into the tower defense mode that is going to be added, the 3 versus 3 thing. Lunar New Year is not going to be part of this season because Lunar New Year falls really late this year. Someone pointed that out to me in my stream because I kind of, like last year, Lunar New Year was somewhere mid-January or end January, I think. So it kind of fell within the scope or the length or the duration of season 8. But this year it's on February 10th. So yeah, that is. I think the season is going to last till I think February 4th or 5th. So.
And so that's for next season, for season 9 at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that is not going to happen this season.
I mean, they announced they had some collaborations coming. Maybe for the second part, we can see a new collaboration in January already. Yeah,
that might happen. In my video, I mentioned another one, the video that's coming out tonight, but I don't remember exactly what I had in mind for the last weeks. Oh yeah, that it's going to be tied into the battle pass and the theme of the season, because the season is also going to get the theme again. And they gave some examples at BlizzCon. We talked about that last week. The Eldritch Horror, Egyptian mythology, witches, and mirrored universe. Those were the 4 that they kind of mentioned. But like I said last week, I don't know if they're going to do it this season because none of those 4 are really very festive, so to speak. I mean,
they could have done that on purpose to say, hey, to tell someone some ideas, but nothing in particular that's coming soon. But we don't know. They could surprise us. They could say suddenly in January around Christmas, guys, it's Eldritch Horror season.
They did the same thing last year. Last year, the Christmas season was Battle for Olympus. So they sent us Greek mythology.
It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I definitely made comments about that in my videos. Like, why would you send us to Greece around Christmas? I don't get it. Why this? But yeah, I think
sunny summer thing.
Yeah, I think at that point it was more of a planning thing. Like, what do we have ready? What can we roll with? More than anything else at that point, because they had just released and everything was still so up in the air. It was kind of a mess.
But those would have been so perfect for the summer games, like the Olympic Games, summer games would have been beautiful.
I do think they were originally planned to be released around the summer games, but the summer before that. But with everything getting postponed and pushed back, with all the delays that they had, that they kind of ended up in the situation where they just released this around Christmas. Now this year that might be different because they clearly have more control over what they roll out when. It's less of a scramble now. The schedule is slowly clearing up. So I don't know. We might see something Christmassy themed. I don't know if it's going to be a Christmas season because Christmas comes back every year. I don't know if you guys knew that. I don't know if that is insider information. If I'm even allowed to share that with you, but Christmas happens every year.
That was classified, D.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
I'm in so much trouble. I'm getting a call for Christmas. Anyways, that's fine. I don't celebrate Christmas anyways.
It's coming back next year anyways. What?
Exactly. But we'll see what it is going to end up being. Like, to be honest, I expect by the time that this podcast is live for the Patreons, and by the time, especially by the time that it is live for everybody, that we might have gotten our first insight. I do think we're kind of Sunday, 5 p.m., well, almost close to 6 p.m. now. I do expect to see an update tonight. That would be very typical for Blizzard to do that. Let me quickly even check. Maybe even more typical would be that they're doing it while we are recording.
Maybe.
No, not yet. But keep an eye on the Omnic post, because as soon as it happens, we'll update you guys. Yeah, that final event could be tied into their theme, whatever that is, and there might be another game mode tied into that. If it's, for instance, Egyptian mythology, they might get us back to Anubis, and they might have a mode on Anubis, and that might be happening. Like, there's a lot of stuff that can happen, and we're going to find out in the next week to kind of see what that is going to be. Like, the big question that everybody asks me every single time when a new season rolls around is, who do you think is going to get a mythic skin? So let me just pass on the question to Frozen now.
How rude. I mean,
your main already had one, so.
Yes, if we go chronologically, it would probably be time for a tank again, wouldn't it? To get one.
Yeah, I made this little overview. So, wait, I have it right here and I'll post it. So the first one was Genji, which was the DPS, then the Junker Queen, which was a tank, then Kiriko is support. So up till then, we're kind of in an order. Then suddenly it's a tank. It's Sigma. Then they go, then you're like, okay, if they would kind of rotate, it would be a DPS. But then the next one is a DPS, which is Tracer, and then we have Anna. And then they go back to DPS. So
I mean, they have a lot more DPS heroes than tank or support heroes.
Definitely.
So it kind of makes sense to push out DPSs in between. But with Ana just getting a skin and then a DPS, I think a tank would be kind of overdue.
I give it like a 50% chance of it being a tank, like 40% chance of being a support, and then about 10% that it is a DPS. If it is going to be a DPS.
If it was a tank, what tank would you most like to see?
What? You even have to ask? Come on.
I mean, honestly, it kind of depends on the theme.
Hello? I think he's perfect. Reinhardt is perfect for the whole Holiday team. Like,
it would be amazing.
It would be amazing.
Him being Santa Claus or something.
Yeah, Torbjorn took that spot already. You can't have two Santa Clauses. I mean, that's not possible. We can't do that. Poor kids. Life is confusing enough already as it is. Not confuse them anymore with getting two Santas out there.
Giving him like a very ramped up Christmas armor.
Yeah, exactly. Or something. I mean, there are some other characters, like here in Belgium and in the Netherlands, we have Santa Claus. Well, Sinterklaas. How do you call them, guys, in Germany?
We have the Nikolaus.
Nikolaus, yeah.
From the Holy Nikolai, yeah.
Who was a Turkish man living in Spain that gave oranges to kids.
No, Nikolaus is a Finnish dude.
Oh, because Sinterklaas, the one that we celebrate, was a saint that was living in Spain, but he was actually Turkish, and he gave oranges to everybody. That is kind of the whole. But
interesting.
That is the kind of the, how do you say it, the historical story behind him. What they tell kids is that he lives in Spain and he comes over to Belgium every year to give everybody presents on his boat. That's basically it.
We have basically, like, there's a literal address you can write to in Finland where you can, like, write the Nikolaus, and tidy up your shoes, you polish them real nice as a child, you put them in front of your door, and then in the morning you go out there and they will be filled with candy if you did it right.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with us, yeah.
If you, did your shoes right. It was really cute.
It's kind of interesting how there are, in between all these storylines, there's so much difference, like in Santa, which is, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but as far as I know, that was an invention from Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola invented Santa for an advert. Now he's kind of like a big thing, but he was invented as an advertisement. But then you have the stockings on the wall. For you guys, it's like putting up your shoe and they fill it with candy. For us, it's putting up your shoe and put a carrot in there for his horse.
Cute.
And then the carrot will be gone and there will be gifts that were left for you and candies on top of that.
Because of my Finnish grandma, it was always a bit bigger for us because it's kind of a bigger holiday in Finland than in Germany. Nikolaus is like the 6th of December.
Yeah.
So we would always like bake treats, Gorva Boosty and shit, stuff like that. And if you can like compare it to, would probably be the most like cinnamon rolls, but slightly different, but it's really tasty.
I love cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, they're so good. And you sit together and you have a dinner that evening. And in some families, that day is even bigger than Christmas itself, because the national Christmas dinner in Finland is potato salad and sausages, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But it's not a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But
for us, it's somewhere in the middle, I think. Like, there's a television series being made about Santa Claus, and there's this huge arrival when he arrives in the country. There's like a huge event around it, which is just, I mean, yeah, it's cute. But it's not as big as Christmas. But I think, especially in my family, Christmas is like that. I think for a lot of people in Belgium, Christmas is the family moment, and New Year's Eve is like the party moment. And in my family, it's more like Christmas is more of a chill family moment. I mean, it's kind of different. Like, we don't give any gifts around Christmas in my family. We give the gifts around New Year. But that's because I have a family of, generations of atheists. So we kind of.
I'm an atheist too. I can relate. I'm not very religious.
It's like I think I remember a day where it was like burials in my family have always been very interesting, because one part of the far end of the family is not atheist, and then our closer end it was always kind of interesting. But that's a different story. But I think in general it's kind of celebrated. Not as much as in the States, for instance. In the States, Christmas is like this huge thing, and the amount
gigantic.
Yeah.
People go all out for Christmas.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, they have this whole kind of streak of basically eating till they explode.
It's food, more food and presents. Drink until you pass out.
Yeah, and then start the new year with a huge headache.
Yeah.
Well, it's a way to go into the year. I mean, it's a way to survive the winter, I think. All of these holidays were just invented to get us through it. And same with, I'm going to try and get us back to season 8 of Overwatch. The same with season 8. It's made to make us forget about the rainy weather outside, and to help us enjoy the darkness, exactly. With a figure like Monga, that is not going to be difficult. What is like the thing that you're hoping for that you want to see kind of in season 8? That you're like, I hope they kind of spring a surprise on us. And
it's interesting because I'm kind of satisfied right now with the things I got, since I got Anna and everything. I'm good.
You're good? You don't want to, for you,
I would be so happy if they just sprung something on us, maybe a fun mode, or I don't know, something else. But I'm like, myself personally, I'm fine right now. I'm enjoying everything. I'm good.
Yeah, that is actually a good point. I think we're always kind of looking forward to the next thing, but there's also value in just enjoying because let's be honest, like if they add a new mode, how much time do you spend in that new mode?
Depends on the mode, but usually like maybe an evening, a few games.
Exactly.
Maybe if it's really fun, an evening after that. If I want to do some achievements, and otherwise I'll just go back to the normal stuff I usually do, which is quick play, sometimes competitive and arcade.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point, actually. I do want to say, like, I've seen a lot of people kind of reporting, or news websites, gaming news websites report on the fact that Clash is supposed to be coming in season 8, which is not the case. I mean, either they have inside information or they're just kind of messing it up. They're just copy pasting each other. But Clash is not coming. It is Clash, right? The new mode.
Clash is not coming in season 8. It's a new mode.
Yeah, Clash, but it's the name. That's the name, right, of the mode.
I think so.
Yeah. I'm starting to doubt myself because I hear myself saying Clash. I'm like, is that the name? Yeah, I think so. But that's not coming in season 8. They showed it off at BlizzCon, but it was not nearly done. I mean, just the fact that they showed it off with the schematic, and that they just kind of panned the camera through Hanukkah instead of just kind of having gameplay in there. should
They
tell you
just
enough.
showed us the concept. It was a concept, people.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't like the mode is coming soon. No, the mode is coming when it's ready.
Yeah, but I saw like a lot of articles passing by. They all claim like that it's coming in season 8. Like, what's coming in season 8? And then you see the new Clash mode. Like, no, what are you on about?
I think that's something for spring, maybe.
Yeah,
or summer.
Yeah. I think like season 9 is a little early. Maybe I think maybe season 11, because season 10 is going to be a hero season. So that is going to be closer to the summer.
I think season 10, and I think something would be pretty cool, because we will get a Mars hero, like a first hero from Mars, the Mars colony. Would be cool to see like a Clash mode in a Mars space station, like a station in Mars.
Yeah,
that would be pretty neat. Like for the far future.
That they repurpose some of the Horizon Lunar Colony art. Yeah.
Because it was not a bad map. It was just sometimes very frustrating to play.
Yeah. It was,
but, like, the map was beautiful. Like, it was a really cool map otherwise.
Same for Paris. I think Paris is a very beautiful map. But it was
just frustrating to play sometimes.
Sometimes. I've never had that big kind of thing where I felt like any mode or map kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I do have to say, like, when I play now, I do get a lot of but I can't think of the name of the map now.
Colosseo?
No. The new map, not New Jank City. The India map.
Oh gosh, what is that called again? You make me forget things.
Yeah, that's the way I roll. But anyways, I get that map a lot. Like, sometimes I get it 2 games in a row, and I'm like, all right, what's going on? Are all the other maps broken or something? All the other modes?
Yeah. I just, maybe it's something because you focus on it more, or because you notice it, you like experience it more, that you think you get the map more often. But I have the same thing with Colosseo, that I feel like I'm getting Colosseo a lot, but I just don't like Colosseo.
No, it's not like I dislike the map. I think it's a beautiful map, and I had some fun games on there. But like, literally, I've had instances where I back to back am on that map, and
damn, okay.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a backfill, but
it may have to do with that for that game mode. We only have 2 maps right now, so it's kind of 50-50 which one you get. So it can feel a bit unbalanced sometimes.
Yeah, I think that is it. Like, they have a certain percentage of which kind of modes they kind of put you on, and it probably is like, let's say, a good 20% for that game mode. But then, since there's only 2 maps, you basically have a 50% chance of getting that map. Bless you.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. It happens. Sometimes you sneeze. But yeah, I mean, other than that, like, I feel like season 8, I don't know why they are so, maybe it's just a perception issue again, but I feel like they're really late on kind of teasing anything that is going to happen in season 8. But it might just be me, because I'm anxious and just want to know, and I want to kind of get news out and whatnot. But I want to know more. I want to see what the theme is going to be. I want to see some skins. I want to know what their plans are with Winter Wonderland.
Suravasa,
yeah. All right. You were still looking for it?
Yeah. No, I had to get that.
I just classified as India. That was perfect for me.
That was important.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Maga. That is the big thing that I'm looking forward to in season 8, because I did not get to play him up till now.
I get it. He's so fun.
Yeah. And I'm looking well, I'm kind of curious to see what the buffs are going to do when it comes to the meta, when they add him.
It's going to be interesting, since I wonder how much he can sustain himself now through damage. Which was already, like, he always had the highest damage out of all the heroes before. But could be even more drastic now.
Yeah. If you look at Roadhog, for instance, after the buffs he did, he's not unkillable. I mean, it's not like he is. If he is unkillable, then he's feeding like really hard, and you're actually getting some benefit out of him towards the rest of his team. If he feels unkillable, you're probably going to win the game, because he's going to die in the end. because you get your ults way faster, and you'll take out all his supports, and he'll flip it around that way. He's not helping his team out when he's just kind of inhaling the whole time. But it does show that they can make a hero like that kind of moving fortress, basically, where they they just keep themselves alive.
I think he's right now. I mean, I'm talking as an Ana player, but he's a bit frustrating to play against because if you don't do purely damage, it just feels like you're hitting a wall.
But you are the one that can actually kind of.
Yeah, that's true. But still, like before that, it was nicer since he could actually Roadhog can still one shot me, can kill me, but I could still felt like I could do more. Like it was more in my skill that it took to actually do something against him. Right now, it just feels like I just have to stay away from him. Otherwise, I'm dead immediately.
Yeah, but I mean, to be honest, I don't think that's a bad thing for support, especially for Ana. Ana needs to be in the backline. Ana needs to be hidden. Ana needs to be protected because she is very potent as a support, and she needs to be. I mean, that is the price you pay for being as strong and as consistent as Ana, is that anybody that knows the game and that is smart about it is going to look for you and is going to try and find you, which can get very frustrating. I mean, Sonra, Roadhog, everybody's at some point is trying to kill you, push you down.
I'm used to that everyone's out for me. I just think he's fine. He's not overpowered. I wouldn't say there's any Overwatch hero that's overpowered right now. I just think they might have overtuned him a tiny bit.
His survivability, I don't know. Like I don't feel like I have not seen that critical moment with Roadhog at our level, at least, where he kind of makes the biggest difference or that he stands out really strongly, except for just surviving and kind of feeding and just kind of making the other team stronger at that point, which is not a good idea.
If it's a solo Roadhog that just goes in and heals himself, he's definitely like the team's gonna get obliterated because we're gonna have that ult so much faster. But if he knows what he's doing, then
yeah, it's rare. And when a Roadhog plays if you play Roadhog smart, you're not going to be as front and center. You're not going to be as impactful as some people would want to be. You're going to be more subtle. You're going to be indeed looking for those certain picks. You're going to be hiding at some points. You're not
playing corners a lot more with him.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm overall like the Sombra rework really was a clear win for me. That was really like a huge step forward. I'm not feeling that with Roadhog. I'm not saying that it is a bad rework, not at all. I think it's a step forward. I think it's an interesting step forward, but I feel like what you said, that they might have overtuned his survivability a tiny bit. That is something if that is the case, if that is something they see, in the data, and that they're getting from other people as feedback, that is definitely going to be something that is changing next week when the new patch goes live. That he's going to be tuned back. And I said it in one of my videos. I think his trap is the one that needs a little love. I think that is just it. His survivability does not need to be pushed too far. He needs to get these tools to be smarter. And you see some Roadhogs try. They'll put up a trap in a weird corner and they'll try to yoink you into the trap and kind of corner you. Because if they just put up the trap in front of you and pull you in, the room for you to escape and for your supports to pick you up again is pretty big. So they're trying to kind of isolate you in the trap. But then still you get out so easily. Like I've said it in a previous episode, but with Lucio, I barely noticed the trap. I'm just in and out. Like it doesn't do. If I'm not the one triggering it, and I usually am not. I'm very alert when it comes to traps. I'm usually the one that spots them immediately, and then I see other people walking into them, and then they set off the trap for me too. But yeah, we have some people that are just champions in finding the traps by walking into them. But
it's crazy how they can find them everywhere.
Yeah,
they will set them off too.
But anyways, I think his trap needs a little more impact. Maybe slow down people a little more, or do a little more damage. I don't know. I think for me personally, that is where I feel it's that tool, that new extra ability. It's not punching hard enough. But that's my opinion.
Probably no one would have expected someone to say that, but maybe the trap just needs a tiny bit more CC.
I mean, they had this philosophy where the tanks would be the only ones doing CC. And if that is the case, there's one tank on every single team that can CC you. I'm perfectly fine with that. Just remove it from all other heroes. And, like Cassidy is still a little on the edge, and May is doing a lot better. Brigitte can stun you, but only during her ult, which is, I think, acceptable. Although I've been playing a lot of Brigitte lately, and I can understand why people hate her so much, because
she's crazy if you play her well.
I've had Reinhardts that are just kind of getting obliterated because you stun them, you punch them away. The moment they come back, you charge into them, and they are on the ground again, and they just get obliterated. But I do think like CC is a part of the game. I'm not the biggest fan of CC. There was a time in Overwatch where there was so much CC, where there were two tanks. You could have two tanks that would CC the hell out of you. And you had DPS and supports that could CC. And you just would get into the situation where you were not playing your character. You were just like watching a pinball machine where your character was bouncing from left to right.
God, yeah.
And if they kind of bring it back where only the tanks can do that, where you only have one hero in the whole enemy team that can do that to you, it sucks when he does it to you personally, but that's the game, and that's what you have to play with. I'm fine with that. We need to kind of stop being angry at abilities or stuff that cancel our mains or that kind of stop our favorite characters from performing, because this is a counterplay game. I saw someone comment on one of my videos, I'm not taking part in the counterplay. I refuse to do the counterplay thing. Like, I don't know. That sounds very... Why are you playing Overwatch? Why are you playing Overwatch?
Play something else, I guess. If you don't want to counterplay, if you don't want to play a game that like lives off of counterplay, then be my guest. I mean, counterplay doesn't even mean that this pick is guaranteed for you to win. It just means that it has an advantage over some of its abilities.
Exactly.
And that's okay. That's fine. If you know how to counter those advantages, you can still win.
Yeah, the chances of you like winning if you counterplay are substantially higher. Like I've seen Genjis take out a Winston and win from a Winston team because the Winston is not doing what he needs to do, or that the Winston is not as good, or whatever situation is not what it optimal, or it's the other people are kind of helping out on that. It can be so many things, but in the end, this is a game where heroes will be trying to counter you. They will be trying to stop you from doing what you do, and in hopes of winning the game that way. And it sucks when it happens to you in the moment. Like when I get booped off a map, as someone that plays Lucio himself, that hurts even extra hard. Especially when, I mean, every Lucio player had those instances where an enemy Lucio player will boop you so hard that you can't touch the wall anymore and you're dead. And that is the biggest embarrassment for a Lucio player that there is. I mean, that is a character breaking moment. But am I mad about it? No, because that's the game. That's how it works. I mean, in the moment it sucks and I'm getting upset, but that doesn't mean that I want it to change. I've never been in that whole... We play with some people that will yell at everybody that counters them and make them demand Blizzard to remove them. Not seriously, of course. Laugh at it as a joke to say that, but it is in the end just a part of the game. So I would not be afraid in Blizzard's case to kind of lean into that and to kind of lean into that slow for the trap and make that trap kind of perform a little better. But I do understand that I'm very alone in that opinion because so many people don't like CC when it happens to them.
I mean, lots of people have a reason to, but on the other hand, you can still do things against CC. I mean, like Roadhog's trap right now, you can just fly out with Lucio, or you can just literally just walk out. But some people just stay in the trap and they... Like,
you can destroy it.
That too. But some people just stay in the trap and they die, and then they complain about the trap. Well, that's you. That's not the game. That's you being stupid. Sorry, but it's true. If you don't walk out of the trap, that's not the trap's problem.
Exactly. I mean, I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft. I talked about this before. There was a golden rule: do not stand in the poop. That was the golden rule. If you're going to stand in the fire, if the boss drops fire on the floor, and you're just going to stand in it, you're going to die. And the best way to avoid that is by walking out. To use your legs to walk out of the poop and survive. It's not always up to the healers to kind of heal your dumb ass while you're standing in the middle of a flaming pile of lava. You sometimes need to
Exactly.
walk out. And it's the same thing. I mean, we all can accidentally walk into a trap, but I've seen occurrences where I think it was even yesterday night. I was playing a few games before going to bed, and I saw a roadhog that was standing in front of us with the whole. We were looking at him with the whole team. He threw out his trap right in front of my tank, and I was like, "This guy must have seen the trap." So, but I started shooting them because I'm a support, and I'm always the one cleaning up the turrets and always cleaning up the traps. That I feel like I'm the maid of the group at that point, but I'm just kind of shooting the trap. So on top of him kind of dropping it right in front of us, and me shooting it immediately with my Lucio gun, which is like bloop, 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 big green balls going at the floor. He still walked into it. He still walked into it and triggered the trap. And I was like, dude, are you freaking kidding me? And then I just said that out loud. I didn't mess. I mean, I'm not the one to go into chat and kind of call him names because he did that. But like, some people just need to kind of
pay some attention to the game they're playing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Roadhog's trap is very avoidable if you just kill it. If there's a smart Roadhog that puts it in a weird place, weird corner, kind of at the heat of battle, there's all these scenarios where you can, but there's so many scenarios that you can avoid it. And it's not like, I think the Junkrat trap is kind of hard to spot sometimes because it's just teeth sticking out. But in his case, it's like this whole, it's almost like a mushroom is trying to escape the floor. Like, it's so easy to spot. Just kill it.
Just kill it.
Actually, what you said before actually also reminded me of something that I've been seeing a lot of people still saying. Like people standing in the poop and whatnot. People kind of putting blame on the game or putting blame on the balancing because they are not good at the hero that they're playing.
Yeah.
But the most extreme example is I still see people complaining about the matchmaking for the bad matches. And I'm so like, I mean, we've been saying this every single episode for the last few weeks, but it's not the matchmaking. Like we had these instances, like we talked about this last week, didn't we, Frozen? We said that we had a lot more of these games. Since we did the last episode of the podcast, we had at least another 5 of these instances where we just like, how the frick did we win this game? I don't know how we did it, but we did it. Where things
every stream at least once.
At least once.
Yeah.
It's insane how much it is happening lately, and I feel that is because the balancing is a lot better than it has been. And I mean, at this point, I don't run into games anymore where I feel like I can point to the balancing. I run into games where I can point at people and go like, yeah, we made mistakes there. We should have switched to another hero. We should have done this differently, or I should have done this differently, or I was too stubborn and should have switched.
We didn't have a second DPS because they get just bouncing around the entire map and not playing the game.
Yeah, exactly. But those are like you can't put everything on and especially in the whole discussion of why they are leaving games. I'm leaving the game because the matchmaking is shit. Yeah, you're pointing at something that you have no idea about, that you can't prove as a reason for you to leave the game. Well, you go right ahead, but that doesn't mean that they should stop putting these restrictions on. I think they, in my opinion, they cannot be kind of thorough enough with the restrictions for people that leave the matches. It still happens. People still leave the matches, but it's not better.
Sometimes people, like, the internet is gonna go out, or the PC is gonna have something different, or I don't know, the person is 16 and their mom just said, hey, come to dinner now, and they have to leave the game, you know?
Like, but they shouldn't be playing anymore. They should be sleeping, and the mom walks in.
I don't mind that, really. I don't mind if, like, someone's like, hey, I have to leave this game out of, like, the 50 games they played that day. That's really not that bad. The problem is the people who just repeatedly leave games because, ooh, you picked the wrong hero. I'm leaving the game. You picked, like, that map I don't really like. Sometimes we play maps that we don't really like. I don't like Colosseo. I still play on it because I can deal with not particularly liking a map. That's okay. That's life.
Yeah, exactly. That's life. I think that is the big message. Like, I mean, there's a lot to say about the fact that games should be fun, but you can't expect a game, especially a game like Overwatch, a multiplayer game where you face each other, to be always fun for you specifically. That whole kind of I'm the center of the universe thing, at some point you need to transition into this. I mean, we all have that feeling. We all kind of feel like everything is happening to us and whatnot, and that we are kind of but at some point you need to make that transition and understand that sometimes life doesn't go the way you want it to go, and sometimes the games don't go the way you want it to go, and sometimes it might be you. Sometimes you're doing something wrong.
Sometimes you're just frustrated and you should stop playing.
Oh yeah, like that.
Or you just should have stopped playing 5 games ago. That happens. But just take some time if you notice you get frustrated.
Yeah, I've heard stories of people coming into my chat telling me that they just had a 12 lose streak, like they lost 12 games in competitive. I'm like, why are you still playing? Why are you still playing after the 3rd game? Because you're going to be so worked up, so frustrated. There's no way you're going to win. You're just going to be projecting everything that is going wrong on your teammates and on the game, and you just kind of basically, it's like you notice that something is off with the bottle of water you're drinking from, and you keep chugging it. Yeah, you're going to be on the toilet later on. There's going to be liquid coming out of your anyways, I hope nobody's listening to the podcast during dinner or lunch, because that's not the prettiest picture you want to paint. But anyways, that was I think everything we had to talk about today, or had to talk about. We could talk about today, because up till now we have not gotten a lot of extra information, but that is definitely going to change in the next week. I hope the sooner the better. Yeah,
I hope so.
Next week we're going to be talking more about the future of Overwatch esports. I mean, we can drop in some stuff about Season 8 if something stands out, but I think we'll be doing a review of Season 8 and the episode after that, so in episode 162. But I'll be definitely we'll be making news posts and videos about everything that is going to happen. So keep an eye out on the Omnic post on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. You know where to find us. There's also some big changes coming. I can already tease this, because there's also some big changes coming to the Omnic post by the start of the season. So keep an eye out for that. We have some plans for the coming weeks. When Season 8, something's cooking. So when Season 8 launches, there will be some changes, especially in the first instance on social. So keep make sure you follow us there, because and don't panic if you see something like, wait, what is this? This looks very different.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
It's all okay. It was part of the plan. I also want to tell you guys that this week I'm going to be streaming a lot. I'm going to be streaming every single day from noon till 6 p.m. I was going to do a Stream Again event, but I decided today to postpone it to Christmas time a little bit, because I felt like a lot of my viewers are going to be slowly going into their exams, and I feel like there's a time coming where people should actually be focusing on school and work, and we're kind of getting into that that grind just before the holidays. And so I'm going to keep the Stream Again, as I called it. I'm going to do that again, where I stream 5 days for 6 hours. I'm going to do that again somewhere in December, between New Year's and Christmas, or just before, around that time somewhere, where a lot of people have time off and they can spend some time in chat. And I'm basically going to do a shit ton of giveaways. Like every time I hit a certain threshold with a new amount of followers, a new amount of subscribers, a new amount of viewers, I'm doing a giveaway. And the big giveaway, if we hit all the thresholds, is going to be a Ramata statue that I'm giving away. So keep an eye out for that for Stream Again. But this week I'm just going to do, without the giveaways, just going to stream 5 days, 6 hours, like from noon, just to try things out. Just want to feel what it is like to kind of, because I feel like I've been doing these morning streams and I've been doing these evening streams now. And I've noticed that I have a very different audience in the morning than I have in the evening. Like in the morning, I have a lot more viewers on TikTok and a lot more people hanging around there. And then in the evenings, it's my usual Twitch community. And I kind of want to bring them together in the middle. That's what I'm trying to do here. But see if that works out and to see what audience we can reach during the day.
It's gonna be fun nonetheless. So
yeah, it's always fun. I mean, come join us on twitch.tv/DMZTV. All right. I think that's it. Frozen, can you tell these lovely people where they can find you?
At Frozen Unicorn on Twitter and Instagram, and the first O is a 0, as always.
It hasn't changed yet, so.
No, not yet.
No. I don't think it needs to change. To be honest, I do think people just kind of click on your name or tap on your name when I post about it. So I don't think anybody is going, oh, let me look at this Frozen. So the second O is a 0. So all right. But the first O is a 0. I don't think that is an issue. You can find me as DamesTV on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. And of course, make sure to follow the Omnic Post on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube for all your updates on Overwatch. You can follow the Omnic Weekly on Instagram and Twitter. The best way to stay up to date to anything that we're doing is by making sure you subscribe to whatever platform you're listening. I also want to thank, by the way, our Patreons for their everlasting support.
We love you.
We love you guys. And you can also join the Omnic Post family, as I call it, over on patreon.com/the Omnic Post. That was it for today. Guys, take care of each other. Give yourself. Or the other way around. You can choose. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.